Liberals like to say that Christian women or conservative women, they are oppressed and that they're being pushed down by the patriarchy or the hierarchy or whatever archies. And that's just not true. All right, there are plenty of strong Christian women in the Bible and throughout the society today. I'm talking about the Christian women of the Bible because they're not talked about very often. It's extremely rare, if ever, that a woman from the Bible is ever talked about. It's usually the men from the Bible that are talked about, and I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. There are strong Christian women in the Bible, and one of them is Deborah, who was a very big, pivotal reason why a war was won in the Bible that day and that time. Excuse me. Another strong Christian woman, by the way, Deborah, without her, that war would have never been won. And another strong Christian woman was Esther. She helped liberate the Jewish community during a time of oppression. I don't know how the Jews always got into trouble, man, with Moses and Samson and then the Esther. Is like, wow, they just found it, or trouble always found them. Anyway, in those days, Esther, she had a story about her during 1000 BC written about her. She has a book about her during 1000 BC, during a time when there was where sexism was a really big deal back then. So that's an accomplishment in itself, and that shows how strong she was, not just as a queen, but as a person. Another strong Christian woman is Mary, of course. And some people might be thinking, well, what was so great about her? She was just the mother of Jesus. She just, pushed him out when he was born and then fed him. Well, that's not true. There's a lot more to it than that. You got to think about her parenting. Why did God choose her to take care of Christ? Why did God choose her to raise Christ? Could have chosen anybody, but no, he chose her. She had to have a strong character. She had to have strong Christian character. Because not only did she have to take care of Christ, Jesus was God in the flesh. And God has always been immortal. God has always been God. He never had to be a mortal person. He never had to deal with getting sick. He never had to deal with having a fever. He never had to deal with having nightmares in your sleep. She had to deal with all these things. I mean, we had to deal with all these things, of course. But he has had what can only be believed as centuries and centuries and centuries of being immortal. So he was being a fish out of water when he was a human being. And she had to help him with that. She had to be very patient and very wise. Not just any Christian woman could have taken care of him. Many Christian women would have gave up. But she didn't. So she also had to have a persistence in her character. Like, no, this is tough, but I'm going to get you through this. I'm going to take care of you. Jesus also had to deal with human feelings. He had to deal because as a human, he had the human feelings, whether he wanted to or not, because he was human. Because if he didn't have the human feelings, he wouldn't have the ability to sin would not be possible. And if the sin would not be possible, then that his sacrifice, it wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't really count because, you of course you're going to sin a sinless life. You was incapable of sinning. But when he was tempted in the desert, it's because he was capable of being tempted. He was capable of sinning. And Mary had to guide him through that, especially before he began his teaching career. She had to help him when he felt attracted to a woman. And she had to help him manage his way through those feelings and still come out sin-free. You think that was easy? No, Not at all. There are a lot of strong Christian women in the Bible, and she was definitely one of them. And I'll tell you something else. We need strong Christian women today. We need strong Christian women today, now more than ever. There are strong Christian women, but we need more strong Christian women. We need more that will be an influence, not only to the Christian community, but also to the community in general. We need strong Christian. We need more strong Christian women for Christian girls to look up to as role models, because there's not a lot. Yeah, there's strong Christian women out there in the distance, like Joyce Myers and Priscilla Shira and Sarah Jakes. But you need strong Christian women that are more close to home. Strong Christian women that are in your life personally, that you could talk to directly and touch, and they could touch you and hug you and kiss you. All that builds up and helps in your character. We need strong Christian women in the church, and we need strong Christian women in the family and the home. Not just in the church, we need it at the home. There are strong Christian women that are needed in a spouse, in a mother, in an aunt, in a cousin. Is so needed now more than ever. There are strong Christian women, and there are people that says that they're not, and that's not true. There are people that say that the Bible has no strong Christian women, and that's not true. There are plenty of strong Christian women. There are plenty of strong Christian women in the Bible. You just have to be open to finding it. And if there's no strong Christian woman in your church or in your family, and you're a female watching this, then maybe that's something that you need to start working on and building on in yourself. This is definitely needed. Not just for the women in your life, but also the men in your life. Is definitely needed. I'm Danny. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you were blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.